Hi, it's John from North Star Nursery, Garden and Home, your coastal gardener. So, not sure if you guys are aware of this, but we finally received our onions. I did post it on social media the other day. We pretty much had a ton of customers coming in yesterday for onions. So, we did get a tremendous amount. So, normally I get 2 orders, but the shipping can kind of be expensive. So what I did is I opted for them all to ship now. So we have roughly, I want to say like 30,000, well, 13,000 red for sure, just the red burger, which is our number one seller. Is everything okay, David? Okay, great. So these are grown by our grower who just does the onions for us. And what they do is they're growing them actually in little plug trays and then pulling them out. So some of them will have two together just because sometimes the seeder drops in more than one seed. So you're just going to actually just parse those apart to plant them. When you go to plant them, it's really important. I've been hearing a lot of people just in the background kind of saying, gosh, my vegetables didn't do very well this year, or, fill in the blank as far as veggie gardens. It's essential, absolutely essential for you to reboot your soil after each harvest, actually. And this is what I suggest for the reboot. I'm not sure if there's a glare on that. It's basically for every 4x4 bed, you have 1 bag of fir mulch, half a bag of earthworm castings, and 3 cups of Sure Start. If you're not doing this between your harvests, you're ending up with kind of straggly little plants that are just sitting there because there's not enough nutrients. Veggies use a lot of nutrients in the process of growing and developing the food that you eat. So you want to start out in the beginning with making sure that you are absolutely prepping the soil. Now, Sure Start was what I listed, but the other one that works really well for onions and garlic, because I'm going to talk a little bit about garlic today, is the Rose and Flower Food. The reason we're using these two is because the fertilizer numbers in the middle are high. That helps with root development and flower production. But in this situation, we want to focus on root development. So really, really important to go ahead and get your soil off to a good start. Now, having said that, with the onions, they are in bunches of 50, and we have the red burger, we have Walla Walla, which is a yellow, and we have White Castle, which is a white. The way it works as far as the keeping ability, which means how long you can store them for, they classify the White Castle as the best keeper, so it will store the longest time. The reason that is because it has a low sugar content. The higher sugar content you get into with each progressive variety, the less you can store it for. Most people usually go through onions pretty quickly because they're kind of a crucial part of our gourmet cooking process. And so what you want to do is decide what variety you want to use. So it goes White Castle, Walla Walla, and then Red Burger as far as the keeping ability. When you go to plant, you want to make sure that you're planting them about 2 inches deep, not including the hair roots. So this isn't part of that 2 inches, it's up here. So 2 inches down because you want to have the space there for that bulb to develop. Also, let's see, I want to make sure I'm doing this right for you. 1 to 2 inch depth spacing. So the red burger can get quite large. I mean, a good 6 inches across. So I would say a minimum of 8 inches, but 12 or more inches will also work. You want to keep them moist. So if we go through the winter and we don't have as much rain as we would normally have, you want to make sure that you're keeping them moist. They don't have to be wet, but you want them to be moist. Because if they dry out, they're going to stunt and they're not going to develop like they should normally. As far as harvesting, this is kind of the fun part because for us, it can range a bit because we kind of have cooler summers. So most of the literature online and from our suppliers say May to July. My experience here is more like July almost to August. What you're looking for when you go to harvest is that the stems, the leaves, start to yellow. When the leaves start to yellow, you want to pull back on your watering. Absolutely stop it. So then when they start to yellow a little bit more, you can go in and gently lift them. And what you're wanting to do, and this is what I would do, is take, and if you need extra flats, come and get them. But take the square plastic flats that we use that have the grid work at the bottom and store them out in the sun for, they say, anywhere from 3 days to a week. What you're trying to do is have all of that, its nutrients and energy of the greenery get pulled back down into the bulb. That actually makes it a better onion. So it's going to store that moisture and those nutrients in the tuber itself, which makes a better onion. So let those dry. Then what you can do, some people will actually bundle the dried greenery together and hang them with the onions down and let them fully dry. Once the stem and the greenery are fully dry, they should pull out pretty loosely or easily. If they don't, you can go ahead and cut them at that point, but you really want to make sure that the greenery has really dried out. Some people will store them after that. I had a customer in the other day who actually says that after that's dried out, then they hang them the reverse way so that the greenery is hanging down. It's an extra step, but you can certainly use it if you want to. I always love getting information from our customers because I just think it's a lot of fun. Everybody has a little trick that they've been doing. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we still have garlic. This is California Giant. It's not an elephant garlic. It's just a large-scale garlic. We're going to be working next year to try to diversify our collection. We've had some problems with our vendors only having 2 varieties at the most, usually just a white one. So these, again, this is a head of garlic. You're going to break the head open and plant each clove individually so that you then create a head later on in the season. Same kind of harvesting timeline, same concept, letting them dry completely. And then when you go to store, you want to store them in a cool, dry place in something that breathes really well. You don't want to have them all packed in there in a box with paper or anything like that because it's going to get moldy. So air circulation is key. Let's see. I think that might be it. So onions, onions, onions. We have a bunch in stock. If for some strange reason we run out, we will order another group. So hopefully you're doing well. We are supposed to get some rain today. So again, don't forget those plants under the eaves or under cover. And we look forward to seeing you at the nursery.